Okay, so we're going to talk about Act 4, Scene 3. Hopefully you've read that or listened to the audio clip for it. It's really long, and so I am not going to go through and break all of these pages down. We are going to fill out the chart together, and I wanted to kind of discuss Act 4, Scene 3 as we do that. So let's go here. Okay, so this is Scene 3. So remember back in Scene 2, Cassius shows up and he wants to discuss something with Brutus, and they can kind of tell that like it's going to be a little bit of an argument, so they go into Brutus's tent, and this is where we see Brutus and Cassius begin to quarrel about how Cassius has been accepting bribes from the Sardians and selling his offices for gold. So he's basically, the whole point here is that he's taking money dishonestly. And Brutus is telling, excuse me, Brutus is telling him, like, what was the point of killing Caesar for justice sake if we are not also going to be just in what we do, or be honest in what we do. And then we also see that Brutus asked Cassius for money to help him pay his army, but Cassius wouldn't send the money, at least the messenger said so. Cassius says the messenger was a fool, but Cassius wouldn't send him money. But we also have to realize, too, that Brutus is asking Cassius for money. It's the same money that Cassius has been taking dishonestly. So either Brutus knows that and still asks for the money, or he's acting like he doesn't know it and was asking for it anyway. Regardless, they're both not being great people here. And so they quarrel some more, and Cassius is basically just saying, like, how could you treat me like this? Like, you're supposed to be the person that, like, understands me a whole lot. And so because he's so upset and impulsive and irrational, he threatens to kill himself again. He basically hands Brutus his sword and was like, here, just kill me now. And Brutus is like, stop. Like, you are going to calm down. You're not usually this way. I mean, we have seen him to be that way. But Brutus says, just calm down. We also find out that because Portia is also kind of unstable, that she has killed herself by swallowing hot coals. Hot being the key word there. Yeah, so A, don't do that. And B, she just couldn't handle what she knew about what Brutus and Cassius had done. So that's how she dealt with it. And then they have the generals and the other soldiers come in, and they begin to kind of do some battle strategy. So if you go back to I want to pull up the chart or the map that I showed you yesterday. This one. Okay, so this is Philippi. This is where they end up having the battle. Sardis is where Brutus and Cassius are, like, before the battle, and then Antony and Octavius have to go through Philippi. They would have had to go all the way through it to get to Sardis. Cassius wants to wait. He wants to wait at Sardis because he wants to make sure that Brutus and Cassius's men are rested, that they are, ready to battle them, and it's going to wear Antony and Octavius's men out to travel further. That's Cassius's plan. Brutus, though, he knows that the people of Philippi do not like Brutus and Cassius's armies, and so his fear is that if Antony and Octavius go through Philippi to get to Sardis, that they're going to gain more troops and be that much more, like, ready to battle them when they get to Sardis. And so Brutus's thought is, let's cut them off and not let them get all the way through Philippi, or let's just battle them at Philippi so that they do not gain more people, if that makes sense, especially people who want to defeat Brutus and Cassius. So that is their plan. And again, you can see, like we talked about earlier, if I zoom in some more on this one, this is where This is where all that's taking place. So they would have been over here in like modern day Turkey, and then Antony and Octavius would have been coming over from Italy. Okay, so that is their plan. And again, we see Brutus contradicting Cassius about something. And then, so the generals leave. Cassius apologizes. He's like, I'm so sorry that we quarreled. Let's never do that again. And then Brutus has Varro, and I think it's Claudius. Varus and Claudio. There we go. I was close. He has them and Lucius enter, and he's asking Lucius to play on the harp. And so he begins to play, and as he plays, let me get over to where Lucius starts to fall asleep. So he lets him sleep, and then the ghost of Caesar enters. And the ghost says that you shall see me at Philippi, kind of foreshadowing here that that maybe things aren't going to go so well for Brutus, the Battle of Philippi. And that is how scene 3 ends. So some battle strategy, some planning. Something that I wanted to point out, if I can find it. I miss having my textbooks. I know where everything is in my textbook. I'm not as familiar with No Through Shakespeare. Let's go back to this page. Okay. So prior to this, so before this page, Brutus has already told Cassius that Portia is dead. But then, like a little bit later, the generals are asking Brutus if he has heard from his wife, and Brutus says no, says, if you've heard from her, tell me what you've heard, and Messala says, well, she's dead, and by a strange manner. And Brutus says, why, farewell Portia, we must die. Almost kind of acting like this is the first time he's heard it, even though we know that he just told us that before. Like he told Cassius that she was dead. And so there's kind of some speculation here that that Shakespeare was going to take part of that out, and he never did. He just left it in, or that there were several versions. Julius Caesar was published after Shakespeare died. So we don't really know why there's 2 mentions of her dying in that scene. It's almost like he planned to take one out, or was only going to have one, but he left both. So anyway, just kind of interesting there. Okay, so we're going to add some supporting evidence here for this scene. Bear with me here. Like I said before, if you need to pause this, pause it. Copy and paste what you need to copy and paste. Okay, so I'm going to start here in line 23, but for supporting robbers, shall we now contaminate our fingers with base bribes and sell the mighty space of our lodge honors for so much trash as may be grasped thus? So basically saying why would we sell our offices, and do this unhonorable or double thing, because we're Romans? Why would we do that? I know, copying and pasting from Spark Notes is wonky, but it's better than typing all that in. Okay, so this is Brutus. Three, 26, 23, 26. Okay, and then we need to find where he's talking about asking him for money. Cassius is just super whiny in this scene. It's not my favorite. Brutus is saying, go show your men how choleric you are. Choler meaning like how angry you are. Brutus is like, do I have to really stand here and listen to you whine? Okay, so this is where he says, our second point, I did send to you for certain sums of gold which you denied me, for I can raise no money by vile means. So we're going to go 73, 74, 75. Okay, sorry about the pause. I wanted to go ahead and just get this filled in because I only have like 4 minutes left, so I don't want to make another recording. So this is the quote for raising money, that Brutus needed help raising money for his army. And then these are the rest of the quotes. So Cassius saying that he is going to kill himself. He tells Brutus, there's my dagger, here my naked breast. Brutus says, that tidings came with this. She fell distracted and her attendant's absence swallowed fire. Talking about when Portia killed herself. For the army strategy idea, Brutus is saying that they should have the enemy march along to Philippi. Or, I'm sorry, if they did that, if they came to Sardis all the way, that they would make a fuller number up, come on refreshed, new added, and encouraged. And then the ghost, for the last point, tells Brutus that he will see him at Philippi. You can pause this. You can go back and look at where I copy and pasted them from, and copy and paste them yourself. Hopefully this gives you enough of a chance to pause it. What I also wanted to point out is we find out in scene 3 that Antony and Octavius have killed like 100 senators. And that's also not okay. So we see like Brutus and Cassius killing Caesar and them trying to stop him from doing that. But then we also see Antony and Octavius not handling the power that they're trying to take, not handling that well either. So really no one's handling the power well in this play. Even though we think that like there should be a good guy somewhere, we're not really seeing that happen. Okay, that is all I have for you. I will post a question about today's reading that you would have to have read to answer. So if you have any questions, you can send me an email, and I will see you on Tuesday.